you want to have your say on whether there should be an immigration amnesty way beyond what the government has said, 12 months for survivors of the Grenfell Tower fire. Anyone, I think, any foreign national directly affected by the Grenfell Tower fire to be allowed to stay in the UK for 12 months, regardless of their immigration status. Home Office saying it would not conduct immigration checks on survivors and those coming forward with information. Anyone who thinks, like I do, that 12 months doesn't go nearly far enough, and I'll come to this as well, that it doesn't make sense either. Alternatively, if you think, actually, no way, this isn't fair, these people are here illegally, or some of them, if they turn out indeed to be here illegally, no way. The law is the law. And even though you've been through that, after 12 months, perfectly reasonable to say goodbye to you. What do you think? John in Kings Langley. Richard in Wandsworth was saying he thinks it shouldn't be indefinite. What do you think?
Do you know what? I think he was pretty spot on with what he said, to be honest. And really, Matt, maybe you should answer some of these questions. What are these people doing in the UK in the first place?
I don't know. I haven't asked them. I don't even know how many people were or were not illegal. I haven't met all of them. What I would say to you, John, is I have met some survivors, and I've met people waiting desperately for news of loved ones. And what those people went through in that tower was just the most unimaginable thing that I doubt, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe you've been involved in something like that, I doubt that many of us could imagine what it would have been like. And I say, as a British state, we should acknowledge their suffering, we should acknowledge what lies ahead for them, and we should be generous and big enough and magnanimous enough to say, look, we've let you down, but whether or not we've let you down, you've been through such trauma that this is an exceptional set of circumstances, and we should allow you to live in this country for the rest of your life. What's so controversial about that, John?
I wouldn't agree, because first of all, I would like to know what they're doing in the UK. And when we talk about these, like the last caller, Richard, where they've come from the Middle East and Africa, which most of them have done, well, if they were really desperate people, and he's correct again, Richard is actually correct stating that they've, they're from the wealthier backgrounds of these countries, because otherwise you would just get out of Africa or get out of the Middle East and reside there, not make the effort to come all the way to Calais and hide in lorries to get into the UK. And you know why they do that? Because the benefit system is so easy in the UK. And if you look at all the Middle East people and and Africans that are coming, they are all going to basically Scandinavia, Germany, and the UK. They're not interested in residing anywhere else. Next question for you, Matt, is why are they living in London?
That sounded more like a statement, John, I think, rather than a question.
Matt, 1 second. Matt, why are they living in London, one of the most expensive cities in the world, when they're supposedly coming from complete poverty?
I don't understand that. I don't understand the question, I'm afraid.
Why are they... Why don't you understand the question?
You'll say, why are they living in London, even though they come from
Why have they come to live in London? Of all places, and the most expensive part of London.
You mean, why have they come to live in London?
Yes.
Well, I thought they would have come to live in London for a better life, wouldn't you?
Well, you're giving me the impression that they're coming over because they're desperate and leaving their countries, but they're actually coming all the way to the UK, risking their life to come to the UK, and then specifically London.
So you agree they're desperate, because you just used that word yourself. Why do you think they've come to London?
But they want to. They've got a desire to come.
Why do you think they've come to London? I think they've come to London, as they say, for a better life.
I think they've come to the UK. First of all, they've come to the UK because we're an easy touch, and secondly, they've come to London because it's the richest place to be in. And
do you blame them for that?
It's not a matter of them blaming them. It's illegal. I mean,
I get that.
If it was easy for me to go to, if it was easy for me, let's say, to go to Switzerland and take the gold out of a safe deposit box, maybe I would head to Switzerland if I was that
you'd be a thief in that case. John, let me ask you this, because I'm the one. So you're calling, because I was going to ask you, let's be a bit more specific, because, listen, I understand there are people who feel very strongly about immigration. I would ask you this, though, and I'm not condoning illegal immigration. I made that point. No, I've made that point already. John, you're just going to have to wait and listen for the question now. You've asked a lot of questions yourself, and I've given you a lot of time. So this is my question to you. Let's return now to being a bit more specific and talk about the survivors of this tower. If some of them turn out to be having illegal status, if they are here illegally, do you think that they should be taken straight to the airport and waved goodbye for having broken the law? Do you think, given that they have gone through everything they've gone through, they should, as the government is saying, stay here for a year? Or do you, as I'm saying, think they should be given indefinite leave, that they should be given permanent residency? Answer me that, John.
OK, I think they should probably go immediately. I think the government's very generous giving them 12 months because we know that most of them will remain in the end anyway, because the English government seems to have great difficulty in getting rid of illegal immigrants anyway.
John, do you know what I think?
What?
I think you lack compassion.
I've seen too much. I've seen too much now.
Thoroughly disagree with you. I'm thoroughly surprised that so many people have called up this morning and talked in the way they have, in the way that John just has, about survivors of that inferno round the corner from my house. I'm so surprised, partly because over the past few weeks when we've been talking about Grenfell in a slightly different context and trying to understand what these people have gone through, there's been such an outpouring of sympathy for them. And yet this morning, as soon as we bring in the word immigration and amnesty, the mood starts to change, at least amongst some.